wrong towards me, I can't just claim it and expect the verdict to be, for me. No, I have to bring substantial, credible evidence, correct? Bring witnesses, bring proof, so that you will win the case. The Prophet says that if you want me to give the verdict for you, then you have to bring proof, or else there will be no order in society if everyone just claims something and we would accept them. No, bring proof, bring substantial, credible evidence, and I will give you the case. Now this is with Rasulullah. The ahadith say that Imam al-Mahdi will be different. Imam al-Mahdi will not ask us for proof. Imam al-Mahdi will not ask us for evidence. Why? Because Allah will inform him of the reality. Allah will inform him who's right and who's wrong. When two people come to me, I'm ignorant. I don't know who's right and wrong. Rasulullah knew who's right and wrong, but Rasulullah wants to teach the Muslims that you always need proof. Unless there's proof, I cannot give a verdict. Imam al-Mahdi will be like Dawood. When two people come and there's a dispute, then the Imam will not wait until they bring evidence. Allah will tell him which one is the right one, which one is the wrong one. Why? Why is that? Because the Imam, one of his goals is to ensure full 100% justice, correct? If the Imam would say, if you don't bring proof, I will not give the hukum for you, then there will be injustice. That's why you find Imam al-Mahdi is infallible, he's ma'soom, doesn't make mistakes, and he's being guided by Allah. Allah tells him who's right, who's the oppressed, and who is the oppressor, and that's why he will give the hukum based on that. So he will not ask us for proof because he doesn't need the proof. The Imam will rely on divine knowledge.
And this is why the Ghulat, they understood this very well. That's why if you go to the earliest arguments about divine imamah, you will see that it happened between the two contemporaries of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam. This is an authentic narration, authenticated by Ayatollah Sheikh Muhammad Asif Muhsini, Ayatollah Sayyid Abul Qasim al-Khuwi, Ayatollah Sayyid Muhammad Sayyid Fadlullah. All the traditional revivalists, reformists, all Shia scholars are unanimous in declaring this narration from Rijal al-Kashi to be authentic. The narration of this famous debate between Abdullah bin Abi Ya'fur, the close, trustworthy companion of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and the representative of the Ghulat, Al-Mu'alla ibn Khunais. Al-Mu'alla ibn Khunais, he said, Al-Awsiya Anbiya. Straight away, he said the Imams of Ahlul Bayt, the successors of the Prophet, are Anbiya. This is what the Ghulat wanted to believe. This is what they wanted to promote. That a system of divine guidance does not end with the Prophet. It is continuing, and that's why the Imams, we have to maintain that they are prophets. This was initially the stance that the Ghulat took. And Abdullah bin Abi Ya'fur, notice how in opposition to this, he doesn't say, no, they are not prophets. Rather, they are Imams who are appointed by God. No, Abdullah bin Abi Ya'fur is too early a Shia to say this. This is later a Shia belief. Abdullah bin Abi Ya'fur is one of the most beloved students and companions of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq alayhi salam, personally trained and educated by Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, and he represents the correct aqidah of Imam Sadiq alayhi salam. He says, no, these successors of the Prophet, the Imams from his progeny, these are ulama'u abraru atqiya. He says these are pious, righteous scholars. And when the dispute is presented to Imam Sadiq alayhi salam, who does he support? Who does he side with? He immediately repudiates and refutes the claim of Al-Mu'alla bin Khunais. And he says, whoever claims we are Anbiya, we disassociate from such a person completely. And this is why the Ghulat had to go back to the drawing board and say, okay, well, we can't call them prophets because then they will disassociate and that's blasphemy, and it's going to create all sorts of problems. So how about this? Let's not call them prophets by name, but give them all the sifat of prophets. So prophets are divinely appointed, they are divinely appointed. Prophets are infallible, they are infallible. Prophets receive wahi, they are also muhaddathun, the angels talk to them. Prophets receive revelation from Allah, they also receive revelation from Allah. Basically, they made the 12 Imams into prophets in everything but name. They just changed the nomenclature. So, okay, don't call them prophets, call them Imams. But the sifat of prophets, give them all to the Imams. And unfortunately, this belief has persisted to this very day. If you look at it from the traditional lens, there is really no difference between Imamah and Risala other than nomenclature and name. and some very few trivial differences, maybe perhaps you might be able to think of. Otherwise, overall, it's one and the same thing. It's very similar to nubuwwah.